And this year we were like, let's do something different. So at first we wanted to do a remix, but in the end we were like, Move On Me just got released, so let's do that. So we're going to talk about the vocal processing today. I'm going to start right at the beginning. How do we start when we have like an instrumental finished, and what do we do from then on?
So, how many of you guys have ever recorded a vocal or published a track with a vocal on it?
Alright, that's cool. And how many of you guys actually recorded it itself?
Yeah, that's less. So yeah, it's really important. Definitely nowadays we think vocals are really important because also the market has changed a bit. Streaming is really popular, so you want to have like tracks with vocals, not only club bangers, which we obviously like, but also vocal is really important for a broader public. So I think a lot of guys when they start making music, and they have like a track, and they come at the stage. Okay, we want a vocal. What's next? Who do I contact? How do I start? Do I rip one off the internet? Do I record my own? Do I know singers? So that's really difficult, and we think that there are so many tutorials on YouTube, but there isn't one tutorial from about how do I get a nice vocal on my track.
No. So the first thing we mostly start with is just finding some samples or like vocals of old tracks to see if it kind of fits with the track, if we really need a vocal. With this one we got an old sample from, Joey Negro, Move On Me. Yeah. So it was a sample and we bought it, and in the beginning we were like, okay, we're not just going to use it because we bought it and then it will be perfect, we can use it. Forget about that, you can't always use it. We bought it from like an EDM, I think it was like a live pack or something. You can use it live for mashups and for spinning it live
DJ tool.
as a DJ tool, yeah. But you cannot really publish it as your own track. So, do we have a sample or not?
Let me see.
Come on, make a move on me, on me.
So this is the old sample.
Come on, make a move on me.
It has a bit of processing on it, but it's...
Yeah, we
bounced it. Alright, so we really thought it was cool, so then we were like, okay, let's just re-record this and add some vocals to it. So we actually got to our publisher and they were like, yeah, let's do this, and we're gonna see if we can clear the samples and then you can record stuff around it. So that's what we did. We went into the studio with a songwriter, a singer, and with Holland Rush, my buddies. I don't know where they're over there. We made the track with Holland Rush. So we went into the studio and then we recorded it from scratch. So what do you need for vocals nowadays? It's most of the time it's a verse, a hook, second verse maybe, second hook, and then often you have a bridge to like glue it all together in the end.
But yeah, for us it was like we contacted our publisher and they arranged the vocal for us. But I can imagine that for you guys, or that it could be different because you're not signed with a publisher. So how do you start then? What you can do is look up other tracks with vocalists you like. You can contact them, send them your instrumental. But also a good way is to look on YouTube people that are covering. A great example is Dancefair with Show Me Love.
Yeah.
He found someone on YouTube which did a cover of Show Me Love. He really loved it, made a track around it, and he got, I think, one of the biggest hits of 2015. But
probably.
It was the beginning of his career as Dancefair. And or maybe you know someone who can sing, like a niece or a neighbor or something. So it's important to know for yourself, where do I start? Which kind of, I have an instrumental, which kind of vocal do I want on it? Do I want just like a one line, for example?
And you really have to be clear with that towards the singer, because we've been like in the studio recording vocals for almost 2 years now, and like the first year, a lot of the demos we didn't really use them because it took too long. We went into the studio the first time and actually we only really had a good hook, but the rest just wasn't there. So you gotta be clear about what do I want, how much do I need for the track, and then go into the studio and be clear about it towards the producer or towards the vocalist.
So I think we're gonna dive into this project. So we just played it, and we have some bullshit. Okay. So in this case, we only have vocals in break, and we have some different parts. We started with the original, but then we recorded them, and we thought we needed something extra, some extra lines in the second break. So
the only thing we had was actually the hook, and then we needed a verse before that, and the second verse, and then in the end, we didn't do a bridge.
No. So the most important thing we recorded was the chorus. So she re-sang it, and we did some. I'm gonna show you.
Come on, make a move on me, for me. Come on, make a move on me. Come on, make a move on me, for me. Come on, make a move on me now, boy. Come on, make a move.
Easy. So I'm gonna solo this one. Let's get it.
Let's first do the lead.
Yeah.
Lead vocal.
So this is the lead vocal in total, and so we rewrote the vocal just a little bit different because we wanted to have like the same atmosphere as the original vocal we used, but then a little bit different voice, more 2017. And when we recorded it, as you can see, it's all recorded in Ableton. And then we started processing it, because I can turn all processing off, and then it sounds way different. Let me see.
Come on, make a move on me, for me. Come on, make a move on me.
So as you can hear, way different. So we have bought a really cool plugin, which is actually a plugin that where you can process your vocal all in one. It's called the Isotope Nectar, and there's a really important tool in it, which you probably all know, is autotune. Because not every singer is perfect. It's really difficult to make a single vocal that is spot on, and just a slight difference here and there can make a huge difference. So as you can see, this is a plugin with like all the effects in it. But you can also do this outside of this plugin. There are a lot of Waves plugins that do it, and we also use some different plugins in this. But first, let's start with autotune. This is to make the vocal like the best way possible before you go processing the rest, like the reverb, delays, compression. So what we do, we set it in the key of our track. So you can, it has a function built in which it tries to detect the key for you. But in this case, we knew the key of our track, so we put it in, which was F sharp minor. And I'm gonna put it on.
Come on, make a move on me. Come on, make a move on me, for me.
So what this slider does is it's affecting the vocal it knows when the vocal is playing, and how quick you set it is how.
Affecting the speed of the effect on the vocal.
So I'm gonna overdo it now.
This is probably
Come
like
on, make 'em move on beat.
this is like the T-pain effect. You,
Come on, make 'em move on beat.
you can really hear the T-pain stuff in it.
Yeah.
It's too much, so we.
So what it does, it squeezes the vocal to the right note, and by doing that, it sounds like more robotic, because the human voice is like, it has vibrato, it's unique. So when this plugin is working really hard, it sounds like a robot. So we used around 15, so that's kind of, it's a bit subtle, not too much.
Come on, make 'em move on beat. On beat. Come on, make 'em move on beat.
So you can barely hear it, that it's working, but it's the vocal is now in key with our track. So when the note is a bit off, and I'm not gonna sing, but when it's a bit off in the mix, it sounds terrible. So this way, the vocal is perfectly lined up with our track.
And it's actually a pretty simple technique, but we only figured it out like 1.5 years ago. So we like the first vocals we ever did, we thought, this sounds too bad, we cannot use it, we have to have better singers or anything, you know. But in the end, like a half year ago, we reprocessed the first vocal we ever did, and it sounded like spot on, perfect for a track. So autotune can really help with that.
It's great.
Yeah, it's great. It's huge.
Come on, make 'em move on beat. On beat.
So after that, we added a gate because she's breathing like a person does. So when she breathes, it can be when you put a lot of processing after that, the breathing can be like over loud. So what the gate is doing when the vocal is below a certain, or when it comes below a certain threshold, it cuts out all the audio. So, for example, breath, or just taking a small S sound or something, it takes it out. So you get a much more cleaner vocal to work with.
Come on, make 'em move on beat.
As you can see, it's working here.
Come on, make 'em move on beat.
For example, there was the breathing. And another really cool function in Nectar is the harmony. When you record a vocal, normally you have like one lead vocal, which is your best
recording.
Yeah, your best recording of your vocal. So
sometimes parts of some of the best recordings combined together.
But that sounds like really thin, because it's only one voice, and you want it to sound like a massive vocal, which is sounding big. So what we can do with this harmony is you can
actually add two things. You can add harmonies and you can add doubles. We'll first talk about the harmonies.
Yeah.
I think we did doubles with the harmonies here, right?
Yeah. So what you can do is set the key of your track, which is in this case sharp. And what you can do is, for example, you can say, okay, I want an extra voice, but it's going to be lower than the original. You can do an octave, but you can also do 4, 5, 6, 7 semitones, whatever you like.
Come on, make 'em move on beat. On beat.
So it adds another harmony to it. For example, let's do it.
Come on, make 'em move on beat. On beat.
So you get a harmony inside your vocal, or mixed around your vocal. And what we can do is put the volume down, make it wider, everything we want. But in this case, what we did is added some unison. So which it actually means is it's the same vocal, but you can pan it to the right, or you can pan it to the left. You make it less loud. And we added 4 to make a really big vocal. Yes?
Could you just move up the window a little bit?
Oh, sorry. Let's see. Yes.
Oh yeah, thanks.
nothing really special. Click here to know the preset, but so we added 4 extra layers. Ah, yeah, of course. Better?
Yeah, that's fine.
Good.
So we added 4 layers of the same vocal, but there's a cool tool here which adds some variation, because when you add 4 layers of the same vocal, it's gonna phase because it sounds exactly the same.
Yeah, they're singing at the same time.
Yeah. So what we can do with this tool is add some pitch differences. Jesus Christ. And also some timing. So the plugin puts the extra vocals for us outside the timing, so they're not like all lined up. So I'm gonna overdo it.
Come on, make them move from me.
So as you can hear, you hear vocals later, a bit before, and they sound different in pitch. But we didn't want that too much, so I think it was something like that.
Come on, make them move from me.
So the vocal already sounds a bit, way thicker. And after that, any questions about the harmony part, by the way? Yes?
Over there.
Yes, Mark.
We didn't pay for nothing.
Is that actually the lower kind of voice you hear, kind of subtle kind of stuff?
Wait a second.
Is it working? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is.
You actually just recorded with one artist, right?
Sorry?
You actually just recorded with one artist, one singer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just one singer. And normally we also try to like record some harmonies, but this time we didn't have the time. We wanted to do it in one day, but we actually we were supposed to meet a different singer, but she didn't really come to the studio. So last minute someone else came to the studio and she actually did it in like I don't know.
I think we fixed it in 3 hours.
3 hours?
Yeah,
3 hours or something. And like the last recordings were done like 5 minutes before we had to leave. So we didn't record the harmonies. But it's always good to also record harmonies. It sounds way more natural than when you have to do it inside an Nectar or something.
Come on, make them move from me.
So I was playing also the same, but 1 octave lower with it, which is also in the group. But this is the real voice.
Come on, make them move from me.
Now with the harmonies, and if you do that,
Come on, make them move from me.
so it sounds way thicker. And then we added some saturation on it, so which adds some extra frequencies, which makes it sound fuller as well.
Come on, make them move from me. Come on, make them move from me.
So it's fairly subtle, but it helps the vocal in the end. Some EQ, we got rid of the low frequencies and added a bit of air to the vocal.
Come on, make them move from me.
So already sensitive. And then compression, which is really important because as we talk like louder and we have softer parts in our sentences. So what we want is to have an even vocal, which is sounding almost the same loudness all over. Because you want all to hear.
You don't want to have to like automate the volume all the time or something. So that's why we use it.
Yeah, and you want to hear every word that she's saying. So compression is a really cool tool for that.
Come on, make them move from me. Come on, make them move from me.
So it squashes it a bit, which makes it sound more like the same volume. And we added some fixed figures.
Come on, make them move from me.
No, so this was everything we did with the raw vocal we got.
Normally you can also use the de-esser.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times if you use compressor and stuff, like everything
Gets boosted.
gets boosted and the S sound is really like annoying in your mix. So the de-esser is really good to like cut that frequency down. I don't know, we didn't use it because we didn't have a lot of S sounds.
So I'm gonna compare the before and after now.
Come on, make a move on me, on me.
So this is with FX.
Come on, make a move on me, on me.
So it's quite a big difference, but it doesn't sound like the finished product yet. So what we added to give it some more space and to beef it up more is a plugin from Waves, which is the CLA vocals, which has some presets in it as well with reverb, add some EQ, bit compression, some more delay. So this makes the vocal way bigger.
Come on, make a move on me, on me.
Yeah, you can tell that's a big difference. And we used the preset and tweaked it a bit. You got some cool presets. And we chose the Rockman because it suited the vocal.
Come on, make a move on me, on me. Come on, make a move on me.
So it makes it more in your face, gives some width to the vocal as well. And after that, a really cool plugin from Waves as well, but you can do this with every plugin, delay plugin, is add some delay.
Come on, make a move on me, on me, on me.
To fill in the gaps, to make it sound like one bigger vocal, and to glue all the parts together. After that, we added some more reverb as well.
Come on, make a move on me, on me.
To make it sound even bigger, because in the mix it sounded too dry and you want the vocal to have its own space to sit on top of your whole track. So that really needed it. A little bit of EQ to get rid of some hard stuff.
Also a Waves plugin.
Come on, make a move on me, on me.
This is automated only on some parts. To make the vocal overall a bit louder again. And that was the first processing of the vocal.
On the chorus, yeah.
Come on, make a move on me, on me.
On the single vocal, we used, this is also a feature of Nectar, but you can do this with Waves plugins, Melodyne. You can record the vocal into this, and what you can do is you can shift now the notes that she's singing. Because sometimes you maybe don't like one note, for example, and then you can, for example, let's do it. Take it easy.
Come on, make a move. Come on, make a move. Come on, make a move.
It's only the last part.
Come on, make a move on me.
So this way you can tweak the vocal to your taste. Maybe she sings like one note that you obviously hate, and you can tweak it to whatever you like. And what is really cool, you can put in your scale here as well. And as you can see here on the left, all the notes that are in your scale are now highlighted yellow, so you know which note to hit. So you can hit a wrong note, which is really useful.
Come on, make a move.
So it's back again, and we did some more auto-tuning. I don't know why exactly, but I think we started with the vocal independently. Let's see. And the rest is not used. So then we got our first lead, which we were happy with, but it lacked a bit. We wanted to add some more depth to the vocal, so we added the same vocal, but then an octave lower.
Come on, make a move on me.
To fill it more up, especially in the mix. Let's see. up the vocal because now it glues it more together with the low end of the track as well. So that's a really cool tip to use to fill up your vocal a bit. Just take the same vocal, put it one octave lower, and it's really cool. It's really cool. And what we did, we mixed it a bit with the first vocal as well.
Come on, make a move on me.
Here we did the same thing.
Yeah,
Also,
you guys said in the end we got rid of this.
oh yeah.
We had the original vocal like really like I don't know how many decibels it was. It was meant to be soft, but in the end our publisher was like, okay, so the real sample isn't in the track, because if it is, you can have real problems. So we listened to it like I don't know 4 or 5 times, and after the 5th time we're like, oh shit, you can hear it a little bit. So we deleted that part, but you gotta have good hearing to actually hear the difference.
And next to that we have the extra part which we recorded.
Verse.
Yeah. So we only had the part of come on make a move on me, and we wanted something extra. So we wrote together with the singer an extra part to the track.
I know you're watching me, it's a connection. I see you wanting me for your attraction. No, don't be shy no more, cause I've opened my door. Come on and hold me down, oh boy.
Then it goes back into the come on make a move on me part. Because in the beginning we only worked with the original sample, and the whole track was come on make a move on me.
It gets too repetitive.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the verse is really an introduction towards the chorus.
And actually it's fairly...
I don't think we had a second verse, or did we? Like a different one.
Recorded?
Yeah.
No, she wrote this actually, I think in 15 minutes. She came in, and we were already late because the other singer didn't came. So she came in, what's the track? Okay, cool. I'm gonna work on it. So we kept it on loop, and she was like, okay, guys, do you like this? Boom, lyrics, melody. So that was really great, and we started recording it. I'm gonna show you everything, the vocal without processing.
I know you're watching me, it's a connection. I see you wanting me for your attraction. No, don't be shy no more, cause I've opened my door. Come on and hold me down, oh boy.
So this was actually a really cool, good recording, because she sounds almost spot on, but not all the way. So we started again with the pitch function. And when I put everything off.
I know you're watching me, it's a connection. I see you want me for your attraction. No, don't be shy no more.
And as you can see, we're using 25 milliseconds here, which is even less than on the other vocal, because it was sang so good. After that, we added some harmonies again to fill it up. So 3 times the unison, and as you can see, we spread it out like a bit left, a bit right. It's even less loud. Also to fit it out, you know, you want not to be that your vocal only sits in the middle. You want to have like a big stereo vocal. So that's really cool about this plugin. And this time we also added an octave higher to it.
I know you're watching me, it's a connection. See you wanting me for your attraction. No, don't be shy no more.
So it instantly sounds way better.
Yeah, but really subtle though, not too much.
Yeah. Against the saturation to make it even more full.
I know you're watching me, it's a connection. I see you wanting me.
Really subtle. EQ, almost the same.
I know you're watching me.
Compression to fill out the vocal again, to make it even.
I know you're watching me. It's a connection. I see you wanting me.
And this time we used the de-esser because she makes a lot of she sings a lot of words with the S sound. So that was too much, and we added the de-esser to get rid of that.
I know you're watching me. It's a connection. I see you.
Maybe you can loop the
You-
part like you're watching me or something. So you can
I know you're watching me. It's a connection.
This part.
It's a connection. It's a connection. It's
So as you can hear, the S sound is in the beginning really loud, and after the de-esser it sounds it isn't as prominent.
It's a connection. It's a connection. It's a connection. It's a connection.
down a bit more just to make it bigger difference.
It's a connection.